"Arrive? Where?" I asked. "To our destination," he said with mysterious voice. Maybe I had no idea about how the Yellow Wart headquarters looked like. I didn't know anybody that had ever visited one, and had heard that who had been there didn't feel like telling it. The building was a building as such, with its doors, its windows, and its front, yellow of course. As they all, of course, except the stone ones, of course. While I was looking the building, he unlocked the handcuffs. He got out of the car, he opened the door with a key, and I looked the doorbell. Once inside, he locked the door again. The darkness was completely, and I started to feel fear. More than fear, panic. Panic that became hysteria when a hand grabbed me by the arm. Obviously, it was the Yellow Wart's hand, but the darkness magnified everything. He turned on the light and the alert level returned to panic. We went upstairs, passed by the first door and kept on. We passed by the second one and kept on. We didn't stop at the third one either, neither at the fourth. We stopped at the fifth. Probably there weren't any more flats, judging by the lack of painting in the following corridor. He didn't let my arm go until we were inside flat, yellow. It was the usual. We'd had so many governments that we could have full-color houses. But as things didn't last long, all tended to uniformity. At home it was the same, except the things I bought at the stone houses. All was yellow because the things didn't last long, except the things we bought at the stone houses, of course. But the Yellow Wart home should be like that. I hardly could tear him apart when he sat down on the sofa. The Yellow Wart uniform only let a piece of their faces under cover. The hair? Neither the hair. What was the messy hair innate of? Well, it was innate of this strange skill we had that let us see how the wards were under the uniforms. It was almost as we could see them naked, and he had her hair in a mess. I was standing, looking around. He looked at me. As I didn't sit down, he got up and came towards me. "Come, I want to show you something," he said with an excited voice, and he went into a room. In that precise moment, I realized that I was not in the Yellow Wart's headquarters, but in his house. I could see under a uniform, but I was not very bright. Maybe that's why instead of running away down the stairs, I went after him. The room was a bedroom. It's not necessary to say it was yellow. He was in front of the wardrobe with its doors opened and a look of a naughty kid in his face. I watched him from a reasonable distance, nearer from the bedroom door than from the wardrobe one. He took his uniform off, pulling from the neck down up to his waist. It shouldn't surprise me. I had just made my mind. But he surprised me gratefully. And, of course, he had his hair in a mess, brown, wavy, and messy. He didn't pay attention to my analysis. In fact, everything happened very fast. He took something from the inside of the wardrobe and he put it on. It was a really very colored shirt, that even Parker Lewis wouldn't dare wear it. Awful thing. But he had his excited face and he was looking in the mirror, enjoying the way it suited. The shirt really suited well, but it was really awful. When I got to forget the awful shirt, I realized that a Yellow Wart shouldn't have something like that. Actually, nobody should, but he couldn't. Well, nobody could, but there were no problem if I wore something like that, apart from the ridiculous. The black market was known and bored, sometimes sanctioned, but in general bored. However, a yellow wart with that shirt was too intriguing. I approached to watch inside the wardrobe. Not big deal. Some uniforms. I touched one of them, one from the wardrobe. I hadn't the courage to touch the one he wore. They were made from a tough fabric, tougher than it seemed at first sight. "Do you like it?" he asked with a excited voice. I suddenly dropped the uniform, and through the force of habit, as if I was talking to the girls, said, "No, it's dreadful." For a few seconds he got upset, but keeping the excitement, he opened the other wardrobe door and told me to look into. There were several shelves and some drawers. On the shelves, on the floor it had, there was nothing. I looked at him with that kind of indifference that hides the loss of temper, and he pointed to the drawers. I opened them. The first one had the underpants. Yellow, of course. I looked at him again. He was more excited. That made me think that, or he was as full as we thought all the yellow warts were, or he wanted me to open the followings. The second drawer had the socks, yellow of course too. And I immediately opened the last one before I forgot that he was a yellow wart trained to repel every single attack in a brutal way. He smiled. Funny.